Okay, so yesterday we had a small drop. It's what I expected. Nothing too crazy. I do think the drop can continue a bit more. I think it would be healthy. I don't think it matters too much. It doesn't change anything. The uptrend is absolutely intact in gold. Silver too. Silver, I'm hoping that it outperforms the DXY, which I always start with. I mean, look, it dropped, it pumped, massive rejection. It's bounced a little bit because of the rejection. I think it will just drift higher and basically flush. Maybe there's a small resistance here, but I don't even think the DXY is that relevant. We've seen gold go up and down regardless of the DXY, mainly up. So I'm just going to leave the DXY as it is because it doesn't really matter. Interest rates, same thing. I mean, they are, I think, more likely to go up than the DXY. They'll probably pull the DXY up, the 30, the 10, and look, the 2 is starting to outperform also. That's interesting. That little move up, look, we're taking out resistance right now, 4.3. We go back up to 4.4. That'll probably shoot the other ones up, hit the market a little bit maybe, and we'll see what the market reaction to the effect of the market drop, if that's what happens, how that affects GDX and the metals. But, let's not overcomplicate it because gold's been doing its own thing regardless, right? So this is just absolutely delicious. For me, this test of 2,940 is the same thing as hitting 3,000. Same thing in breaching 3,000. This is like what percentage, what is it? 1 point something 2% moving gold. That's 2 decent days. So let's see. Already for now, I'm surprised that yesterday's candle was not as bad as I thought because that initial rejection early, I thought would be followed by a big move down, like big red, close at low of day, followed by today flush. Honestly, it's kind of holding this little 2,880, which is mini support, but I mean, I don't, it shouldn't be support. It is because it's the high there. It was the low yesterday. Today again, we hit that low so far. It's a mini zone, but it's just almost not worth discussing. If we move low, we have a little thing here, 2,850. After that, I mean, really, the real support is 2,800, just below. Call it 2,800, because by the time it gets there, it's a big move down. People will probably start buying that before we hit 2,800. So 2,811, for example. But I don't even see that happening. It's just so strong. It's proved itself back here that I just don't see a move down to 2,811 as being like, look, 2,800, 3% drop in gold. It can happen. It can happen. And it's still extremely bullish. So let's see. I don't mind gold dropping though. I trimmed in preparation for that top that we had the other day, 2,940. Silver obviously has been outperforming. The one thing about silver though is maybe it outperforms now. So whether gold goes up or down, I just have the feeling that it's going to make its move now. I don't mind a move down in gold and silver sort of stays sideways. I mean, who knows? Maybe even green. We've seen those days. That would be ideal. And then when gold's done dropping and it starts to curl and go back up, this thing leads the way, takes out 32.30, like has a close at 32.50, and basically runs and starts leading gold as gold breaks through 3,000. Silver's like on its way up. That is a hopeful scenario, but it's a little bit realistic, I think. So let's see what happens. We just need silver to sort of go sideways to down if we drop. Now, the miners are weaker. Look, closing the low of day, GDX had a hell of a move, very steep, hence and look at resistance, right? It was obvious even when you're sort of lost during the nice day, like this day here when we had that run to 2,940. It was obvious. That's why it trimmed. Next day, we're down here. It's underperforming. If gold has a down day, GDX will drop. I'm not sure where. You have this little gap here, 40.3, let's say. All the way down here, that's a big move. I don't see that happening. Maybe if gold goes down to 2,800, maybe, but I expect the GDX to outperform a bit. Maybe not the metals, but let's just say not be that weak because that's a big move down, I think, right? Yeah, 2 bad days, 2 decent bad days, it could do it. But that's your support. Then you got the pre-gap support here. I just don't see it happening. Let's see. But for the immediate support, I got 40.3. Let's see what happens. Let's not read into it too much. Maybe it's best just to look at gold and silver. Keep it simple. GDXJ, not bad move too. Close at low of day. Here you've got your support, 50.7, maybe 50.5, that little gap fill. It's the same thing, whatever. Next level would be down here. So I can even move these now, you know. Yeah, those two levels. That's what I see for GDXJ. SILJ didn't close at low of day, but okay, let's not look at that too much. It's at support now. Okay, if we have a down day, it'll have to go through it. But let's see where it closes. I'm looking for silver to outperform on the drop days. That's very difficult to say because it rarely happens, but that's kind of what I'm expecting a little bit, or at least in percentage terms, not to be as bad as it usually is on red days. Next level down here is down here. Yeah, I don't see that happening yet, but that would be your level of support. That would be a buy because for me, silver is not going to go to new lows because gold's not going to a new lows. So why would SILJ go to new lows if it gets dragged with the market? I don't see the market going down too much. It never really does. Um, and I just feel like we could be up on market down days, actually, which we did see recently too. Okay, those are the ETFs. Basically, I expect a bit of a drop, but not too much across the board, metals and miners. Now let's look at the portfolio. Newmont, low of day close, makes sense. That little resistance there was beautiful. Trim that. Where's the next support? It's 44. Very simple, stuck between this channel. No problem. Newmont's sort of proven itself recently. Not the strongest stock. Barrick Gold, I really don't like it, but perfect resistance trim. If it goes down, I'm going to let it go down. I don't care. You've got something here at 16.8 on a daily. Otherwise, I see it going down here. It's weak. Let it go. I'm not buying back Barrick Gold. I'm selling the move up. I'm not buying the drop. You get much better percentage return elsewhere. So I just hold whatever happens, happens. I think eventually it goes back up because I think gold's just going back up long term. Agnico-Eagle, I'd prefer putting money in Agnico-Eagle. Normally I buy destroyed stocks, but it's really about which one will go up more, and Agnico-Eagle will go up more than Barrick Gold. Um, but actually, I've got a tremendous amount in Agnico-Eagle because I hardly sell much and I always had a lot. So, okay, close at low of day, it's just done what it had to do. Honestly, support, don't know. Don't know. You have something here, 97. Uh, Not really. You just watch Golden GDX. It's not coming all the way back down to breakout zone here. Sorry, it's just too strong for that. If it does, I'd buy. I would probably sell all of Barrick and just, well, maybe. Okay, next one is Pan American Silver, which has done great. Hit resistance, trimmed that. But in one day, it's gone all the way back down to the support and it closed at low of day. So if we have a red day, that's a bit surprising that it was so aggressively sold yesterday, but it's fine. It's done a great job and it's outperformed SIL by far. I think it's the best one in that. If we go down, next level is 23. I don't see that happening. 5% is a bit much. You really need a big slaughter to happen or some specific company news. So I just hold, I trim, I might buy back what I trimmed if we go down to 23, but I just don't see that happening. Not sure why it was that aggressive, but amazing. I'm not going to complain. It's done absolutely amazing. Wheaton, that's strong. That's the Wheaton I know all the way up. It was a bit weak down here, I remember. And now all the way up here, perfect trim. You see how you got to sell before the absolute highs. Don't get arrogant just for a couple of cents. So that was a nice trim, but I'm not even going to buy back because this is not even going to drop that much. Support, I don't know, 66, 64, 70, the daily high lows and all that stuff. Otherwise, pre-breakout 64, 64, 64, 60, and 66. But I don't even care. And honestly, if it drops down here, I don't even know if I'll buy back what I sold there. It's not the biggest percentage move. I might actually, because it will obviously curl and break out and do what Agnico's done, just make new all-time highs again and keep running. It's a great business. So maybe I will actually, just for the curl. Amazing, Wheaton. I love these these really strong royalty stocks. Speaking of Franco Nevada, look at this. Franco Nevada was annoying during this period here. Sideways whilst everything else was moving up more. And then it did this horrible drop. Then it started to outperform here. Bam, bam, bam. Surprised me very often. And again today, look at this. Everything else was closing at low of day. This thing almost closed green. Just a hammer. It wants to go up here. I mean, I'd love to see how it does on another red day. It'll probably be another sideways. It's just consolidating sideways. And then once gold and silver is ready to go up again, it's just going to go straight up. test my little level here, do a little bit of respect to the resistance, and then the next day just basically slice through. And I'm looking for that absolute confirmation, close above 150. Then for sure it's broken out. I mean, it's probably broken out once it's above 149, but a close above 150 just to completely take care of every doubt. And then the next stop is going to be 160 and then 170. And then we're just going to make new all-time highs and basically follow what Wheaton's about to do. So Franco Nevada, maybe the strongest stock at the moment, maybe, but very good. Metalla, for once, also a bit strong, relatively speaking. So we went all the way up to 320. That surprised me. Straight through, actually, didn't care about my resistance. Then actually retested there, it sort of respected 320 a bit. Then tested this little gap fill 340. And now we're in between this channel 320, 340. Pretty good close, all things considered, especially for Metalla. Let's see if we can hold 320 on a daily and basically break out and go from 340 to 370. So not bad at all. But First Majestic, which has been horrible, at least it didn't drop too much yesterday. That's the one thing it's got going for it. I feel like it can just outperform on drop days and just don't go below 540 or 5. Don't do it, because then it's gonna have to drop here with them. That would be really disappointing. Then I would reconsider my a bit late for that, but I would aggressively sell the moves up and just I don't know, would I close First Majestic? Probably not, but I would just lighten the load when it pumps. I think I would just say, okay, no more. I normally have like 4K, 3 or 4K, and I'll probably do like two or I don't know. But anyway, I actually feel like it will hold this 540, outperform on down days, and then when it moves up, and if silver, I still think silver's going to go to 35. I'm ready to hold First Majestic at least until that, and the breakout that follows. But disappointing, but yesterday was okay. All right, if I can give it a little grade. Fortuna has been pretty good. Broke out. Okay, it had to come down yesterday. Didn't do that too much. We've got support 515. That's a bit close though. We've got the descending retest. And then we've got this pre-gap fill and gap fill. I don't see it going even down to the pre-gap fill, but it's got support. And I think it's ready to basically fill this gap here. So we got to watch the metals, but Fortuna, I'm positive it can go and fill 585 gap fill. All right, next one is CDE. My man, starting to outperform again. That's an okay close, all things considered, almost unchanged, ready to just go sideways. And we've got this merger. Sorry, what do we call it? We've got earnings or something. I mean, that'll be a great catalyst. That'd be great if we just go sideways to the run up and then just break out. And maybe we've even got gold and silver sort of going up again at that point. Let's see. But that would be the ultimate catalyst for a move to, well, basically to 8 and higher, right? 8 and higher. I mean, this is just, it's kind of doing it. We want that close above the whatever it's here, isn't it? You just want it to start moving up here. Like a close above 740 is almost enough to guarantee a new high. So CD looks great. Obviously, this is bad news. Then down we go. We may even go down to $6. Things can get horrible, not quickly, but you know, I can see it go down to $6 if there's some terrible, shocking news, especially if the metal prices are going down. 12%. Yeah, you get like a -7% day, and then the silver stocks, the silver price moves down, and it just exacerbates. But I actually reckon it will just pump. I think that's what this outperformance for several weeks has been. So let's just wait and watch. Silvercrest following suit. They're obviously gonna combine as one, so that'll just break right out of 12 if that happens. Next is Hecla. Pretty good. We had yesterday strong outperformance. It had a nice technical damage to the shorts, you can say. That was nice. This close here. And again today, sorry, yesterday, this latest candle here, that's pretty good, actually. I'll just rearrange this a little bit. It's not pleasant on the eye. Keep it simple. There's your resistance now. There's your support, whatever. If we have a down day, probably around 580, I'll let it play out. But I reckon sideways, maybe sideways down with the metals, and then boom, we close above 620 and we're going to 660, and then this is less obvious. Maybe yeah, maybe here actually. But Hecla looks good. Down not even 2% yesterday. That's pretty good. EXK has been weak, not as weak as First Majestic. Close at low of day. This is just begging to drop more. It's really unlike EXK to be this weak with gold going up. Obviously, it needs silver to go up, but I'm used to seeing big pumps, and we just haven't seen that. It's not a good sign, to be honest. Maybe we do a gap fill, get it over and done with. 375, it's not that much of a percentage move. If we lose that, then that's your support now, 340. I don't see that happening unless silver really crashes, to be honest, or there's company specific news. But yeah, those are your two levels on the way down. I actually wanted to do a gap fill because then it might get the strength it needs to close above 420. That's what you need before you can start hitting all these levels. EXK, weak. Like First Majestic, unlike Hecla, unlike CDE, unlike Fortuna. Mag, unlike Mag. Another one, look at that. That's a good day, isn't it? Just sideways, waiting for that, return to the upside in the metals where we can break out and retest basically 18. Support is going to be the low of days that we've had here. Let's call it 1560. I don't even think we'd gap fill on a drop. Man, maybe we do. And then your next support is going to be here. Something like that. So mag is just a hold. I'm not buying if it drops. And I'm not selling. I'll probably trim at 18, like 17.99 or something, because I'm so sure it's going to get there. Next one is Aris Mining. That did okay actually yesterday. Simple support is going to be the ascending. I don't think it's going to go that low. Resistance is going to be 410, 415, basically where I've already marked it. And the next one would be here, which keeps dropping because of the time element. So now it's about 440. That's it. Let it play. I'm just holding. Don't care. It's quite light compared to everything else. I am gold's been doing okay. It's just holding side. It's flagging at absolute breakout 660. I mean, this one, it's pretty renowned to me. It's very, very strong, like Agnico-Eagle. There's quite a few of them that are just doing well. And I am gold is standout. Sideways up. You've got resistance at 660. You've got support at 590. Just hold. I reckon it'll just go up with the gold price soon. B2 gold. Yeah, it's come back from the bad news here, so that's okay. Could have been worse, especially on that day. If it comes down, I got about 235. Ugh, I'm not buying, I'm not selling, I'm just holding this. So I almost don't even feel like covering it. It's just a hold with some dividends being collected on the way, but not happy. Long term, dumping this one. I don't want to say I regret. Yeah, I regret it. It would have been better elsewhere. Barrick Gold and B2 Gold. And First Majestic, you could say. But Barrick Gold and B2 Gold as gold stocks. And what's the one thing they have in common? Mali, Equinox, another one like I am gold, like Agnico. Very nice. Already broken out of this key resistance 650. It might retest it. It could even close below it. Doesn't matter. I think it's just destined for a move back up to 7 breakout. So can watch that one. SSRM, which I no longer hold. I'm still covering it. I dumped that at 949. Well, the last sell was at 949. It's doing okay, I guess. A big drop down to 850, 840 is possible, but it's quite strong, so it might not even happen. But that's actually a buy, the 850, 840, because of the type of strength it's been showing. Just wondering if that's a bit of a level too. Yeah, it's going to be strong because let me just look at the strength. But the gap fills happened. So for me, the move is done. I like it. I respect it. Thank you. It's like 100% move in a couple of months. But I would prefer to put the proceeds in something else on the drop. Finally, SBSW. Yeah, it's retesting here. Sideways consolidation. I still see a move back up. But if there's a big drop, then we know how SBSW can get. It can flush all the way down. I'm happy holding this. I've been holding it for months through huge swings, and I haven't really trimmed much, so I'm just used to holding. All right, that'll do. In the end, that was quite long. Sorry about that. Let's see what happens today. I don't think the DXY or yields are too relevant. I think it's about gold and silver, and hopefully silver outperforms, and hopefully the miners don't come down too much if the metals do, and then it's perfect. Then you're going to have silver and the miners outperform gold the next time it retests and breaks 3,000. So and these earnings are going to be so sweet because I reckon the miners are going to make so much money with the margins now. And I don't think Wall Street has positioned itself. I think it's just us owning these miners, very few big boys, and it doesn't take much for, for the price of the miners to move up if the big boys get involved. So anyway, we've heard that through all the podcasts. Let's see what happens because gold's at 3,000 and they kept on saying that that would happen and that's happened. So maybe we're still very, very early. Good luck.